Hello, good morning, Boss Beauties. And we are continuing our Women Inspiring Women series. Excuse me, I got a tickle in my throat. Happy Wednesday. Oh my goodness. That's great. Awesome. So today we're going to have, I can't believe that happened. Today we're going to have Erin Stones on. In 2017, after hitting rock bottom due to health changes and severe depression, Erin decided it was time for something more. She took a risk on an opportunity, and in just over a year, this risk combined with hard work and specific goals turned into something more, something amazing. She found herself among the top sellers and in the top ranks of her direct sales company, and now serves on the presidential team. What? Which combines efforts with corporate offices to enhance the company and its growth. After being introduced to the Boss Beauties in the fall of 2018, she is a rockin' jewel. She found all new ways to take her personal business and her team to a new level. So let's welcome Erin on. I see her. Let's get her on. And where'd she go? There she is. Let's get Erin on. And let's get this party started. And hello, ladies hopping on. We want to invite, here she is. Hi,
We're
Erin.
adjusting.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning. Hi, how are you?
Good. I'm going to figure this thing out.
You get it figured out. Get it figured out. Ladies, while she's figuring that out, will you all invite your friends, share this out, tell the ladies about this, other ladies about this interview, because they're going to want to hear from Erin. She's got some really great things to talk about. Good morning, Erin. How are you?
I'm good. It's early for me, but that's because
Yeah.
I'm a night owl.
Yeah. Well, you're 3 hours difference from me, so you're
Just two. Just
oh,
two.
you're 2 hours different. Okay, 2 hours
Yeah.
different from me, but that's still a lot earlier. And Erin has 5 children, so I mean, like, what is she doing with the 5 children this morning? I don't know. I
They're
don't know.
sleeping.
Oh, they're sleeping. Okay, we won't be so
No,
loud. No.
I'm letting them sleep in, which they're thrilled about. So I was like, I'm not waking you up early.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Well, Erin has been with us for almost a year now. I mean, that is pretty awesome. So we're so excited. Yes, we adore her. We're super excited to have her. And hello, ladies hopping on. All right, let's get started. Y'all want to hear from Erin, I know. So can you tell us what your business is, what industry, what niche you're in? Just tell us a little bit about Erin and your business.
Okay, well, I am Erin, and I sell nails. I just put some fresh new ones on
Ooh,
last night.
so
Did a
pretty.
little combo pattern here. And so technically I'm in the beauty industry. We just focus on nails. And yeah, that's kind of what I do. Like you said, I have 5 children. I live in the Boise, Idaho area, specifically in the city of Eagle, for anyone who knows Idaho at all. And I'm approaching the big 4-0, but feel like it's going to be even better than all the others.
Oh yes, 40 is awesome. So is
Yeah,
50.
because
I'm 50. I'm in the 50s, so it's still
you
good.
don't
Yes.
even look it. You don't even look it.
Oh please. Oh
So,
please.
and I'm a licensed school teacher. I taught school for a few years before I had my kiddos. But then I discovered I couldn't afford to be a school teacher and have as many kids as I have. So we didn't plan to have this many kids from the start, but we are so blessed to have them, and we take them, and it was a big struggle to have the first 3, and then the rest of them just kind of happened. So we're grateful for
Blessings.
that, right? Exactly,
Yes.
exactly. When it's so hard to get what you want, then you get what you're asking for, or what you prayed for. It comes eventually.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
So
So from what I'm hearing then, what your business now has obviously replaced your teaching salary.
it's hold on a minute, like 8 times. my teaching salary.
Whoa. Okay, ladies, did you hear
Yeah.
that? Did you hear about the possibilities out there, ladies?
Yep.
Okay, yes, yes. So this is awesome. So you obviously started your business because you want, is that why is that why you wanted to tell us why you started your business? Tell us
Okay.
how that happened.
I didn't necessarily start for money. My husband has a fantastic job. He manages large construction projects all over the country, which means he travels a lot. And so I am a single mom a lot of the time. I was teaching school full time, and I needed something for me. So for a long time, I was substitute teaching. I was having to scramble to find people to watch the kids that were home during the day. And I remember when one month felt like I worked nonstop and got an $800 paycheck. And that was substitute teaching 4 to 5 times a week. And thinking that the $800 was like the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Right.
Right.
And so now I kind of chuckle at that because I don't work near the hours and I work from home and I don't have to find babysitters and I can afford things. But what had happened is I've suffered quite a few health problems, and all of them are surrounded my babies and pregnancy and delivery. And they just kept getting worse with each baby. So every time when I told my mother I was pregnant with technically number 6, we did have a stillborn baby. So that was kind of the beginning of my health struggles, was the loss of a child, and then just trying to find myself again. And then, so then I had baby number 4, and she and I almost died during delivery. And then we had number 5. And when I told my mother I was pregnant with number 5, she cried. She wasn't happy. It was that scary with number 4. So,
Yeah.
and after number 5, I started having seizures and just a lot of really unexplained health problems. And I started gaining a lot of weight, and everything I had done in life, like when I was stressed or I was upset or I was struggling or my husband was traveling, I dove into health and fitness and exercising because it made me, number 1, it made me feel good because I was exercising. And number 2, it made me feel good because I liked the way I looked. And suddenly I was in a health situation where exercise and health were not an option for me anymore because it was just compounding the issues I was struggling with. And so I was to a point where I weighed more than I'd ever weighed. And I was depressed. Even though I was on the PTO board, I had 3 positions on the PTO board. I was the secretary of my son's wrestling club. I volunteered in the local Cub Scouts. I still substitute taught at the school. I had my 5 kids in their schedules. I had so many great things. I have a beautiful home, a husband who adores me and I adore him, 5 great kids, an angel in heaven that watches over me. And yet I still couldn't get out of bed in the morning. And nobody knew that because as soon as I did get out, I had this whole face that came on because I didn't need anybody to know that I was struggling. So one morning my daughter came in and she had gotten the kids up and gotten everybody ready to school and was headed out to the bus. And she said, "Hey, Mom, are you going to get out of bed today?" And I was like, why would you even ask me that? I was really annoyed. And she came over, I gave her a hug, and she left. And that was the moment that I realized that it was a valid question, that there was a lot of days I didn't get out of bed in the morning. And I thought, okay, this has to change. I have 5 kids. I can't not get out of bed. Not only that, but I matter too, right? And I realized that I'd had some really scary thoughts. My depression was worse than I realized. And I just was in a really, really, really bad place. And so I climbed out of bed that day, and I'm a religious person. I said a prayer, and I said, there has to be something more. There has to be. And within a week, I got a phone call telling me about a new opportunity. And I laughed at her because I bit my nails till they bled. Nobody had tried the product. It was brand new. I didn't even know if the company was real. And I was like, this is not going to happen. But then the thought just kept coming back to me. I thought you were praying for an answer. I thought you were praying for an answer. And then I thought, okay, I don't know why this is going to happen, but I told my husband, and he actually told me I was the worst person in the world to sell nails. And he was being realistic. He wasn't being mean. My husband and I are very honest with each other.
Yeah.
He's like, you bite your nails. And this is like, he said, but I'll stand behind you, whatever you want to do. And within the first 2 weeks of the company launching, which was June of 2017, his his perspective changed and so did mine. And I haven't stopped since. So
Wow. Wow.
that's,
Ladies, please,
that's kind of
ladies,
where
we
it
have
comes from.
got to share this video out. And I know I'm saying the word, but this is a story we need to women need to hear this story right here because this is an inspiration. Like this story is just beginning. So we want to get other women joining us to hear about it. So please let them know. Erin, wow. Okay, so it started from there. Excuse me. And I know that you actually went quickly to the top.
I did, yes.
Yeah, right? With 5 kiddos at home. Tell us about that journey. Tell us what happened there.
So, like I said, after a couple of weeks in the business, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. And the funny thing is, I told my husband, I'm just going to sell. Even though my self-esteem was literally rock bottom. And I would say to myself, why does anyone want to buy a beauty product from someone who's fat and unhappy? And I'm not saying that to be mean. That's just literally the thoughts that were going through my mind. And then the day the company launched, we have minimum sales goals that we try to reach. And the very first day I hit the sales goal and I was like, wait, what? I did a Facebook Live that was the worst thing I've ever done. It was 2.5 hours. I'm not lying. Like, ladies, it's okay if you fail forward, right? So went live. My husband kept coming upstairs and doing this. I'd never gone live before. I was totally out of I had, but nothing major. It was 2.5 hours. Every time someone would pop on, I'd start over because I was like, oh, there's somebody new. And I don't know if everybody was buying from my website because they felt bad for me and they were trying to get me to get off, or if they I don't know what it was, but I'll take it because I was the first person in the team I was in to hit this goal and on the first day of the company. So then the company has jumpstart goals and things that we can go. And I thought, you know what, why not try to go for this? And I hit those goals early. And then I went to our very first conference, which was only 6 weeks into the company, which is not 7 weeks, but it's insane that they were even doing it that fast. And I went in there and I thought, look at all these women here. They're making things happen. Why not me? Why not me? So I came home from that and I hit the ground running. I decided that I had something amazing at my fingertips and I was going to share. And a lot of what I did was I just shared my passion for what I was doing. People were seeing the changes in me. They were seeing that I was more confident. They were seeing that I was enjoying what I was doing. Even my husband and my children saw a dramatic difference. And my husband also got 100% behind the business. He sells it right along with me. He takes stuff to work. He shares with everybody.
Gosh.
My customer group, I know, I love him too. My customer group is as much of a fan of him as they am of me. They just love my husband. And every month he and I talk about my goals. Still today, the beginning of the month, he says, okay, what are your sales goals? What are your recruiting goals? What are your goals for your team? The beginning of this year, we talked about our goals. So I'm always aware of what my goals are at the current time. And I have, long-term goals, 5-year goals, 1-year goals, 6-month goals. And I break that down into what does that mean I have to do today if I'm going to hit that goal by tomorrow, or hit that goal by the end of the month, or hit that goal in 6 months. So for me, it's all about goals and taking those baby steps to get there and not being afraid to fail forward. We all mess up. We all screw up. I screw up all the time. I mean, I have 5 kids. You can't not realize that screw ups and failures are going to happen, but that's how we learn. I absolutely look at my struggles and trials, and I love to say, what can I take from this that's going to be my fuel for my next level, the fuel for my next goal. And it's way easier said than done. I promise you, I know that. I've had so much crap happen in my life that I could literally still be sleeping in my bed, right? Every day, not sleeping, sitting in my bed, wondering why me? Why me? Why me? Why me? My health problems are not gone, FYI. They're still here. I still struggle. I've had surgery several times since in the last couple of years, and my weight is actually more today than when I signed up for this company. And so that hasn't changed. I'm still struggling, and I still don't like that, but I'm using it to fuel me, and I'm using it to make me a better person rather than pull me down. Because my health doesn't get to win. My problems don't define who I am. It's what I do with them that defines me. So.
Ooh, wow, inspiring. Ladies, so listen, get your partners involved, get your husbands, get your partners, You know what I mean? That is huge. I love that. And I love how you have, or you're using your issue, the problems, the seeming problems in our lives, right? They're fuel for you. And I love how you are doing that. Now, I know you had to overcome a lot of obstacles and excuses, and you had to help, finding joy along the way is difficult when there's a lot of these things going on. So let's talk about overcoming excuses and those obstacles.
Definitely. And let's be real, everybody. Everybody has excuses and they're valid, right? So the fact that I spent several days in the hospital means that I have an excuse to not work my business. And let me be real here. You do need to take time for you. So that's not an excuse. That's a purposeful, intentional decision that you're making for your business. One of the mistakes that I've made along the way, because I was moving up the ranks so fast, I mentioned going to conference. I went to conference just a stylist with the company or a bonus qualified stylist, which meant that I'd hit the sales goal. And within 4 months, I had moved up 4 ranks. I did a different rank every single month, which people will tell me all the time, it can't be done. And I'm like, it can be. I did it. Right? Like, no excuses with me. It can be done. Was it hard work? Yes, it was. But one of the mistakes that I made, one of the failing forward things I did was that I forgot to take time for me. And that's why I love having my husband be a part of my goals and a part of what I'm working towards, because he got to a point where he said, this is not the direction that you want. I'm telling you now, because you're focusing so much on the goal and not on enjoying what's happening in the process.
Enjoying the journey. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. He said, if you're not having fun, then why are you doing this? You have to be having fun. You have to be enjoying this. And I love that my husband is that sounding board and that reminder. So even if you don't have, a husband or a significant other or someone that's right there for you, that's what like the Boss Beauties is for. Or if you're in a direct selling company, there are people all around you who are, working towards the same things as you. Find somebody that can be your sounding board, that can be your reminder. And I recommend you find somebody who doesn't necessarily have stake in the game. It's not someone who's part of your team, either your upline, downline, somebody who's sideline, because you're not in competition with each other. I'm very competitive, right? I'm super competitive. And so one of my goals was, hey, I'm going to make more money than my husband. I'm going to do it because I can compete with that, right? And in November last year, I had a bigger paycheck than he did. That was great. He took a new job, so he makes more money than me now. And I'm like, I have a new challenge. I'm closing in on him as quickly as I can.
I love it.
What I'm saying is everybody has their things and it's different for everybody. And, sometimes I look at other people and be like, it hasn't been hard for them. It's so easy for them. But what I'm doing is I'm comparing my worst moments to their best. Mm-hmm. A lot of what people share on social media is their very best moments. So stop comparing. Just stop comparing. It's easier said than done, again, but you have to remember that you're seeing their best moments and you need to not allow yourself to compare it to your worst. So how do you overcome obstacles? How do you overcome those excuses? I say it's through personal development. Here's one of my favorite books in the world, Get Over Your Damn Self by Romy
I love that book.
Such a good book.
Yeah,
so
great book. Yes.
I'm a mom of 5. I literally have never read a page of this specific book, but I've listened because you find the audiobooks and different things like that. I like having the paper, and I like that when there's something I like, and I haven't done it with this book, I'd have to find one, but if I hear something, I'm like, ooh, I'm going to go find that and highlight it in the book. Yeah. I haven't done it with this one because I listened to this one while I was traveling.
I have that. I listened to it too. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's
Nancy Ann. Hold on, Nancy Ann. I love it. I'm competitive too. Nancy's coming tomorrow. She is competitive. You two are a lot alike. Yeah.
Find what fuels you. Find what fuels you. And it's going to be different for everybody. But I'm super competitive, and they announced the opportunity to become a part of this presidential team that she mentioned that I'm in. And I was like, it's going to happen. And anytime they have any type of challenge or they offer anything, that is so fueling for me. Even if I can't attend, I'm going to work for it. I'm going to find a way to make that happen for me, because winning is non-negotiable, and winning is, for everyone, is going to look a little different. Winning is
Yeah,
non-negotiable.
exactly.
And my daughters are funny because they've hung like some of the things that I've won, and I have like some certificates and things over here, and they're like, you have to remember, Mom, you have to remember. I'm like,
Oh,
I
I
have
love
rubbed off
it.
on them. Even my
That is
children,
awesome.
my daughters are part of my business too. My son, he's like, Mom, can we not do nails? But he's worn them. He's actually worn them. So I caught him and his dad putting them on. I told him I wouldn't put them on because I didn't want his dad to kill me. And then I found my husband putting them on him. So that's another thing I love.
That's
They're
hilarious.
so easy that men can use them. Come on.
They really are easy. I love them too. I just actually took mine off yesterday. I'm getting ready to put some new ones on today, but I love them too. So now, all right. Now, I know you have a large team. How large is your team right now? You have a very large team, don't you?
It's not the biggest team in the company, but it's the perfect size team for me right now because of my busy schedule. I'm looking to confirm because my team is growing really rapidly right now. So we're getting new people every single day, and we're at 658.
That is
658.
awesome. That's awesome. Now, I know that you're a strong believer of taking responsibility for your business and treating it like a business and not a hobby. And I know that you take that approach with your team as well. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah. So one of the things that you have to realize when you're in a direct selling company, and maybe it's a little bit different based on the way your pay structure or things are set up, but you don't have to wait for the person above you to do anything for you. In fact, you shouldn't. If you have certain goals that you want to reach, then make those goals your own and stop waiting for someone else to help you be successful. So one of the downfalls, but also like super positives for me of starting with the company at the very beginning. So I'm a founding stylist with the company. Is that we had nothing. It was kind of like, here's your login, good luck, and and all of us are kind of like asking each other questions like, how does this work? And everyone's like, I don't know, like I don't know. And so I'm like, well, I don't know either, but I'm going to figure it out. So I just hit the ground running and I said, okay, well, I have these sales goals. This is what my sales goal looks like this month. What am I going to do to get there? So the very first month in the company, I just started calling family and friends that I knew already liked me at least and trusted me a little and wanted to support me. And they knew me, which was why the like and trust, I'm like, I don't know. But they're all my family members. And so I just called and said, hey, I've started a new adventure and I really don't care what you think of that, but I need your support. And I know you have friends and I know you have people that are going to like this. And I'm coming on what I call the tour of Utah, because that's where most of my family lives. I'm coming on the tour of Utah. Pick a day. What day are you having a party? And I expect you to have at least 5 people there. And my family was and my friends were like, okay.
Wow.
We'll do this. So I did 9 parties in 7 days.
I love it.
And I actually blew the sales goals out of the water because I was determined to make this happen. And that's how my customer base started growing. I didn't let my fear of rejection, and that's why I started with somebody I was safe with. Who do I feel comfortable with? Who do I feel safe with? Asking and being direct like this. So make your list of people. Find those people that that they are your ride or die. They're going to support you no matter what you do, even if they think it's crazy. And I tell you, my parents, like 2 months into the business, my dad called me one day and said, don't forget you have 5 kids. And I said, Dad, I'm doing this because I have 5 kids. I'm doing this because I need more, because, and they just saw me jumping into something new and they hadn't seen all the hidden successes along the way.
Yeah.
And so I'm grateful that they could have those conversations with me, but I'm even more grateful that I could say, thanks for your concern. I got this. Right?
I love it. I love it. Ladies, are you listening here? I mean, she went for it. She did not allow her fears to hold her back. She just did it. She didn't get stuck in her own head. and thinking over and over again, oh my gosh, what are they going to think? What are they going to do? She said, I don't care what they're going to think. I'm going to ask for their support. I'm going to let them know this is what I want to do. I want to make something out of this. And I'm going to ask for their help. I want them to invite people, and I'm going to have a party, and you're going to do this for me. Ladies, be bold. Don't be afraid.
And the funny thing is, a lot of these women that did these parties for me, some of them don't use the product, and they haven't since the party. And I don't care. That doesn't mean it's not a good product. That doesn't mean I'm not good at what I'm doing. It's okay to have people not buy into what you are doing. And it doesn't change my relationship with them. It doesn't change our family dynamics. It doesn't change anything. But it gave me an avenue to find more people, to reach out to my cold market and make them my warm market and make them my friends. I still have some people that ordered with me on day one that are still ordering with me now because I've made connections with the customers. I've done more than just look at them as dollar signs. I've looked at them as friendships and opportunities and connections and ways to find more people. And I love my customer, my customer group, because it really is a family to me. A lot of these people have been with me on this entire journey. And so they've celebrated with me,
You've built relationships. Seen the success. You've built relationships. You have relationships with these people. And that's what it's all about. When you can build those relationships and not look at them just like a dollar sign, you can say, like you just said, it changes everything. It makes it, then people they start to become loyal to you because they learn to know, love, and trust you, right? This is awesome. I just love hearing all of this. Now, how do you balance it all out with 5 children? How do you balance that? Yeah.
I don't. The secret is I don't. My life changes a lot. So I mentioned that my husband travels a lot. He just moved to Texas last weekend. So I am technically a single mother most of the time with my 5 kids. So one of the things that I've learned to do is outsource. I have people that help me clean my house. I have people that mow my lawn. My daughters get paid to help me get my business supplies ready. Finding a way to get help with the things that I don't necessarily have time for, but they're necessities. Not even that I don't have time for, but somebody else can do and probably do better than I can. Rather than looking at my house all the time and being frustrated and upset because it's a disaster. And don't get me wrong, it's usually a disaster, but at least I know it's clean underneath. I have people that come and help me with that. If I actually showed you my office, you would chuckle because it's a guest bed back there, but it's covered in nails. And so my mom came last week, and I was like, you have to sleep downstairs because the guest bedroom is a giant mess. And she just laughs and was like, oh, this is Erin. But learning to outsource and learning to be willing to ask for help changes everything. And then for me, I do a little bit of block scheduling. I got super overwhelmed when I was trying to schedule like every 30 minutes or every hour of my day, because with 5 kids and one of them who's still 3 and very, very in need of my attention, and she was potty training, I can't be like, hold on, I still have 20 more minutes in the office. You can just wait to go to the bathroom. I can't do those things. And so just number one, giving myself some grace and knowing that things are going to happen, and to not let it destroy me, because it used to destroy me. That's another failing forward moment that I used to, if something came and interrupted me, nothing else happened for the rest of the day because I was off my schedule. And so now I have Post-it notes everywhere, like just everywhere. I have Post-it notes, and I put them on my computer. And if I know something's super important, it gets its very own, and I put it right in the center so that I can't sit and work until I get it done. And so I'm a little off the cuff. I'm a little different than a lot of people because I don't have a super set schedule, but I found that I can't. My life just doesn't cater to that. And I'm looking this fall to having like a part-time nanny of sorts that's going to come and take my little one a couple of days a week so that I can have more dedicated time. But learning how to work with what your schedule is and not feeling like you have to conform what everybody else tells you it should be. Those are just suggestions. Those are ideas. You need to find what works for you. And right now, with 5 kids home for the summer, craziness around me all the time, and a husband who's not here to do the daddy side, that, I get to do mommy and daddy, giving myself some grace, making sure that I have my three things in three different categories of my life, my personal life, my house, and my business. What are the three non-negotiables every day? And I fit those in. And then if I have time for the extras, I find a sticky note and I check something off my list. So just knowing that it's not perfect. It's not a perfect system, but it's what works for me. And I know that some people are like, oh my gosh, that would stress me out. And I'm like, well, anything else stress me out. So I'm going with what works.
I mean, you got to go with it. You go with what works. I absolutely love it. And that's what happens when you have children. I mean, it's a different ball game. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of ladies out there who are, they are wanting to be where you're at. They're in their company and they want to go to the top and they're struggling. They're still at that spot where they're not moving forward. They're in their own head, they're stuck up in their own head, can you give any advice to that woman that is like, I want to do this, but for some reason I just can't take those steps? Like, do you talk to people every day? Are you talking, like, how is your team is growing? You said every day it's growing. Tell us how that's happening. These ladies want to know. What are you doing?
Well, we're in the business of relationships. And so I work on building relationships every single day, whether it's with my customers, whether it's with hostesses who are holding parties, whether it's with, my long-term customers, short-term customers, and with my team, and just having open communication with my team. When I talked about earlier saying that I have to remember it's a business, sometimes, and as my team is growing quickly, I found that the amount of time I can spend on my team is drastically changing. And really, you should be spending 20% on your team and 80% on your customer base, because you want to have a good, strong customer base. You want to have those relationships. And I'm learning to find a balance in that because my team is growing rapidly. There's fluctuations in leadership and who's at the top. And, that's just natural in this kind of business, that one day you could be here and the next day you could be here. I was doing it somewhere where you couldn't see it, and the next day you're here. And it changes all the time. And keeping in mind that that I have to run this as a business and I have to make business decisions for myself every day changes everything. Because I was so worried. I'm a very empathetic person, and I worry about everybody, and I worry about, are you to the next level, and what can I do to help you, and what can I do to help you, and what can I do? And again, my husband had to remind me, what are you doing to help you? This is your business. This is not, your business is not their business. They may be a part of your business, but you cannot fix their problems.
Exactly.
And so keeping in mind, I mentioned this before, don't wait for anybody else. Don't wait for the people underneath you to do something. Don't wait for the people above you to do something. You have to set those goals and determine what those needs are. So if your company is like mine and it's a party planning company, then book those parties. Tell yourself, okay, I want to have this X amount of dollar in sales. How many parties is it going to take for me to do that? And then call people until you have that many parties booked. I do a little thing with my team every month where it's, well, I changed things up a little bit, but this month we did book 6 by the 6th. So they have to book 6 parties for this month with 6 different hostesses by the 6th of the month. And people would be like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And I'm like, well, if you say you can, of course you can't.
Right.
But if you try, you might surprise yourself. And I had one girl that commented and said, I have 8, not 6. I'm
See that?
See? So my best tips are personal development, and perseverance. You have to persevere. Consistency is key, and not letting one no or one negative comment be what completely destroys your business plan. Because it's really easy. We naturally tend to hang on to the negative things that we hear rather than focusing on all the hundreds of good things we hear. I have one person tell me that I'm not a good leader, and I sit and focus on that for 2 weeks, and yet I have an inbox full of messages from people. Thank you for this. Thank you for this. Can you help me with this? Reaching out to me for support, and I'm still focusing on this one person who told me they didn't think I was a good leader. You can't please everybody in this industry. You just can't. You can't please all your customers. You can't please all your friends. You can't please your family. You just have to do you and set your business plan, and remember that we're in the business of relationships. but it's also your business. This is a business, and you have to make business decisions before personal decisions. Does that make sense, how I'm saying it?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
When you make a decision, you look at the business aspect first, and then if it doesn't matter, then you go with your heart and say, okay, what direction can I take this? And I'm not saying my heart isn't a part of this, because that's when you're in the business of relationships, that's everything to me, and having a good relationship with my team. But remembering the business aspect is what helps me move forward and helps me move past when I get stuck, is remembering I'm doing this for my family. The money is changing my life, and I have to make this decision based on business, not based on who else is it going to help more than me. So
love it, love it, love it, love it. What a fabulous interview. Ladies, wasn't this awesome? She is so awesome. Okay, something fun. Tell us what your favorite TV show is.
Right now, it's Stranger Things.
That's a good one, right?
People ask me all the time, like, what's your favorite movie or what's your favorite thing? And it's usually whatever I watched last. Same thing. What's your favorite nails? It's whatever I have on right now. My favorites change, and I I'm always gonna love like The Office. I'm a huge fan of The Office. I just finished. I like a little bit of suspense. My husband can't stand it. So one benefit of him being out of town is I can watch Stranger Things till 2 o'clock in the morning, and and I love the throwback to the 80s, because I'm an 80s child. It's like, oh my gosh, this is my childhood. I was born in 1980, so this is like my childhood, the clothing, and I'm like, I had that. Yep. And I used to go to the mall, and it used to be that way. Like, if I'm ruining anything. Have you watched it?
Yes,
you watch that show?
I love it. Yes. I'm an 80s girl too, so it's
That's
so much
right.
fun.
That's right.
Okay, one last thing. What's your favorite thing to do in your free time?
Well, I really like self-care things. This is something I didn't used to allow myself to do, but going to get a massage or going and giving myself a little bit of relaxation time.
Yes.
It refuels me as a mom, and it refuels me in my business too, and it helps relieve that stress. And like I said before, if you're not taking care of you, exercise is still a struggle for me. So what can I do to take care of me to help me feel better about myself? And the other thing, I really like to dance and cook and bake.
Oh, wow. All these things. That's right. You do love to dance.
I'm a Peloton enthusiast. Anybody that's my exercise thing. If you've heard of Peloton, I'm obsessed. If you haven't.
I didn't know about it until you, but I love spin class. I'm a spin girl all day long. We just don't have it around here.
I know. You need a Peloton, and then maybe I'd actually start riding more often.
I know, right? You're right, Nancy. We do have amazing jewels. We do, and we're so proud of this jewel right here, and we're so thankful that you came on today to talk to all the ladies.
And I'm grateful what Boss Beauties has done for me. Like, when I discovered Boss Beauties, a fellow teammate of mine said, hey, you should check this out. And so I did. And I'm telling you, when I follow the strategies and tips that they're giving me, I have people knocking on my door wanting to join my team, which is mind blowing. I love it because I love my company and I love what I'm doing. And it has brought in new people that I never would have thought would have. And it's a lot of them are people that I didn't know were watching me. And so what they're saying works, ladies. And I'm not always the most consistent with it because I have a lot going on in my life. Again, sometimes I let the excuses win. But when I'm very consistent, it's paying off. So I'm just glad to be a part of it.
I love it. Attraction marketing all the way. Yes, love it. All right, ladies. How can people get in touch with you? Let's see. So you're Erin. How do you say your maiden name?
It's Erin Thornock Stones. And I was going to take the Thornock off because, and the last time I did, someone messaged me and they were like, I could not figure out if this was the right Erin from high school. I was like, whatever. Okay.
Okay, so just leave it.
Yeah.
You need to go follow Erin. You need to follow Erin. You need to, if you are interested in getting some really cool nails, Erin can help you out. I love the nails, I have to say. They're awesome. Do you have, let's see, how about a business page or anything like that where they can find you as well? Or
I just have a customer group. I haven't ever done a business page. The idea overwhelmed me in the beginning. I probably will eventually add it. But you can find me at Fingernail Fashion with Erin Stones.
There you go. There you go.
It's a group. So It's a lot of fun
go
too.
follow her. Yeah, she's a fun person.
I just
She's a
showed
good
some
one to connect with.
neon. We're coming out with neon.
That's so
So
exciting. And if
stoked.
any of you boss beauties out there want to collaborate with somebody who maybe you're in a similar niche but different in or similar industry, same industry, maybe different niche, you
Hmm.
know, Erin would be a great one to collaborate with. So, you know, ladies, we're all here for one another. Just love being inspired by Erin today. And Erin, we adore you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
today. Yes, thank you
Thank you
for
very
us.
much.
Yes, ladies, and thank you all for hopping on. And we will see you here tomorrow with our last one for the week, and that's
Nancy
Nancy Ann.
Ann.
Yes, so excited. All right, all right. Have an amazing day, Erin, and you too, ladies.
All right. Thank
Hugs.
you. Bye bye.
Bye. Love you, ladies.